Gentlemen, it is once again a Friday night.
Yep.
Friday evening, afternoon, whatever you want to call it. We got the D Ford, we got the D Frank. I just topped off the ATF in this. It's still too low, and I put an exhaust clamp on it, so it might not rumble as much. So
we had a little trip last week, but someone forgot their camera.
Yeah, like an idiot.
We went down to New Jersey to pick up a parts Lincoln for my Lincoln.
Yep.
Now, as you guys know, I don't like parting cars out, but it really was rotted out. It was an ugly color. It had no title. It was an out-of-state vehicle, and the guy wanted $300, and it had a 5,000-mile rebuilt transmission on it. So I grabbed it for parts. So now we cut up some jack stands out of some nice logs, and we're going to go take the motorized wheelbarrow over there and go get them.
This is the motorized wheelbarrow, in case you're wondering. Let's hear that exhaust. Huh, sounds exactly the same. This thing still don't run right.
Yeah. It's running a little worse than it normally does.
Yeah. We're doing some off-roading here, as you can see.
Yeah, see my jack stands that I made?
see that.
And this truck is wicked good in the mud, even in two-wheel drive. As you can see, our tracks from the last one. Whoa.
Something's grinding. There's a freshly made jack stands there for the not so fresh Lincoln over there. Oh yeah.
And I'm still in two-wheel drive.
Oh really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, this truck is, I think I might have a limited slip. All right, now we gotta try 4x4.
Yep.
Hey, I think the radiator fan is hitting the shroud.
Yeah, I can hear that.
We gotta fix that.
Well, if you wait long enough, the fan clearances the shroud on its own.
No, we'll fix it. So these are my jack stands. I picked them up at the, at the store.
At the store, at the Harbor Freight. Well, I only run Snap-on, you know.
They can hold like 20,000 pounds a piece, I think. Like I can put a triaxle on that.
I think you might have to straighten up that edge there.
Yeah,
whatever. We'll do it later.
Stock cut piece. But
roll them in.
Look at that. I mean, those are pretty solid. I put a triaxle on that.
Okay, so what do you got going on here there, big guy?
All right, D. Frank. Well, firstly, D. Frank found that the transmission in the white car is different than the transmission in the parts car that he bought. So,
yeah, I still got a lot of good parts, but didn't get
upset about that.
And the way to identify the AOD from the AODE is one should have a giant electrical plug on the side and the other one doesn't. This one doesn't. So it's got the older transmission hooked up to the newer style motor in a newer style car.
Ford's infinite wisdom.
Yeah,
so anyway, we're on to the next project. We got the old gray Ford here. Has some fuel, we think it has some fuel pressure issues and fuel pump issues.
Because we had issues with that before.
Yeah.
Unboxing video of a Auto Best fuel pump for a 1989 F-Series pickup truck. So
and it's also Bomba de Gasolina.
Yeah.
And Pompe a
La Bamba.
Essence. La Bamba.
So go ahead there, Mr. V.
Open it up.
Yes.
And inside there's bags of stuff, bags of a fuel pump, some foam.
Now, is that foam so when they drop it from high heights, it doesn't destroy the pump?
Only this way. If you drop it this way, you know, you're
Well, who would drop it that way?
And...
Oh boy.
And limited warranty policy, and just throw that away.
Oh, I was going to zoom in on it.
Do we want installation instructions? We have D. Frank here.
Well, this is kind of my specialty. I believe I'm still lead mechanic on this job.
Yep.
Alrighty there, folks. Fuel pump mount. The bolts surprisingly came out.
Right out.
Yeah. Old fuel pump. We have to take that pigtail off there. Do you want to unbox that a little?
Unbag it. Ooh. Oh, you fucking break it already?
No, it keeps coming out.
Jesus Christ.
I don't like that.
We had it all together until fucking Heavy Hand McGee here.
So this is what you're left with. It's actually very well designed. You have the original anti-chafe, then you have this extra anti-chafe,
double up
which
on
is
rubbers.
more like a spacer.
More rubbers, more better.
Then you get two choices of ends here. So we put in
high flow and low flow.
We put in the correct one.
Yep.
You know, they don't give you a new.
There was a weird little sealing washer dealio, and yeah, so we just pulled it off the old one without breaking it and slid it on there.
Then I'll leave it here so don't drop. And then over here, there's your terminals. And then Ford put these wonderfully designed boots that don't really cover anything. No, but we loaded them up with dielectric grease.
Yep. We got to scrunch that terminal.
I did. I scrunched the other one.
Yeah. You only scrunched one of them here.
Well, because it was
tight. Make a video of the scrunching. This is.
Can you see this?
This is calibrated scrunching.
Yeah. So you just kind of.
You can even hear it. Just crunch a little bit.
Listen. Silence on the set, please.
I think you flattened it. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Bacon.
You fucking flattened it.
Well, I'm working with 30-year-old steel here.
You're supposed to be a Ford man.
I am.
Jesus.
You know, I'm under a little bit of...
this is your first rodeo here. That's totally flat.
Oh, yeah. Who's totally flat now? Bitch. All right. Well, there we go. Now we just...
Slide that boot on there.
Which doesn't actually really slide on there.
Doesn't cover very much of anything.
And then, you forgot about the best feature. I love this for some reason. You got this little deal here. Normally these are single use because you bend them back the other way. So you take this plug here, which is factory bent like that, you know, and you just kind of...
how you have to bend the wires all the way around.
Yeah, though that's how it was on the truck. And then you just
slide it on there.
Slide it on there, and then you go, oh, well, it's supposed to lock in, okay?
I'm sure the mounting clips broke off.
But look at that, I love that little feature.
So it just holds it right on there.
Now you take this assembly, you put it up on the truck. Here, you run some bolts in here. Inlet,
put the fuel lines on.
Plug it in. And there,
yeah, we
there
lost
you
the
go.
fucking plastic thing again.
No, I took it off so we wouldn't lose it.
Okay, good. That's thinking ahead.
Now, Ford gave you these little clips for the fuel line.
Yep.
I believe they're color coded, like white is a different size than black or something. But I found that you can ram jam either size in either.
Well, that's good to know.
And it worked, you know. But look at that. I am just so proud of that nice little
That is quite the fucking burrito there.
Yes.
Let's go slide this baby on there.
We can't film it though because it's pretty dark out.
Yeah, and it's also cramped and everything. We'll show you the final result when we're done.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. All the Fords I have, the fuel pumps are noisy. The only ones that are quiet are the mechanical fuel pumps.
Oh. All right, so we're back at it. Putting the fuel pump finally all the way back in. We got it most of the way, then we lost the clip. I don't remember where we left off in the videos last Friday. So this is going to be a 2 Fridays in 1 sort of dealio. And D. Frank is having... Oh, I heard success.
No.
No? Ford's got black and white clips.
Oh. Ooh.
And you got it now?
Yeah.
All right, D. Frank, what are we doing here?
Customer.
A customer.
A customer.
Well, they have to be paying if they're...
It is.
Oh,
it is. It is a paid job.
Where's my cut?
Well, you want to use some of my garage?
No.
That's the only way to get a cut.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's Scott's nephew. So.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Well, anyway, we got a obviously broken axle shaft off of this Hydro Gear.
One of them big fancy like $4,000 Cub Cadet 50-inch cuts.
Yep.
Junk. I found better stuff in the garbage. All right.
So this is a hydrostatic smash-o-matic. So we just beveled each side a little bit, left a little bit of the brake to kind of key it in, even though it doesn't really matter. I got a piece of angle iron there. I'm going to cut it shorter, use that as a V-block. The one challenge to this job is that we got a rubber seal or seals in there. This is probably a dust seal on the outside and a functional oil seal on the inside that's going to be heat sensitive. So we're going to wrap this with soaked rags, and that ought to keep things cool. Just weld a little bit at a time, walk away, do something else.
Go have a smoke.
Yeah, exactly, and then weld a little bit more.
Yeah.
D. Frank is at the 120 MIG.
You could use it.
So let's rotate this a little bit and try to weld it in a different location.
We should also get a wet rag.
Yeah. What I should have mentioned before you started welding higgledy-piggledy there, rather than welding right on the top, you just get one point where it's going to want to warp. You should have welded there and then there, so you got 2 points. So spin that around. Make sure the weld bead doesn't get in the way of the angle iron. You want as many different tack locations as possible.
Right? Tick
right.
Right.
So then the tack welds pull equally in opposite directions there.
Okay, so there's already one there. Because that's...
Just tack, yeah. Oh, and the way of the camera there.
Well...
Jesus. Now what you ought to be doing is, you want to tack, when you keep zapping it like that, you're layering shit up. You just want one solid fucking tack. A big one. Not some pussy little tack.
Oh, metal hot glue gun. Look at that.
Yeah. Like that.
Oh.
Then you just keep wrapping it.
Oh.
Wrapping it before you're tapping it.
Or not.
Welding it in this case.
Or not. Wrapping it.
That's also an option.
Now, would this be another tack?
No, just run a weld bead on one side.
See, it's not that I don't know what I'm doing, but you know, experts often bounce ideas.
It's not true. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yes, I do. I've done quite a bit of welding.
Half, on one side, and then half on the other side, because
when that
weld shrinks, it's going to want to pull. So you want to weld opposite. So you weld a little bit there.
Just like a little...
Weld, yeah, just a quarter of the circumference there. Flip it 180. Weld a quarter of the circumference the other side, and then we'll let it cool. Yeah, so now you do the last third cord.
I was just telling Connor how to do this.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And,
so when you were asking me questions, you were just, making sure that I had the right answer. Right? Right. All right, D. Frank, let's take a look at this. It's all cooled down, wire wheeled. The seal is not harmed whatsoever. This stayed really nice and cool the whole time. And hey, will it focus? Wait for it. There we go. So as we weld it up layer after layer, we wire wheeled each time, and just got a fatter and fatter bead. There's a little pothole right there. That doesn't really matter, but I think this is pretty good. So hopefully it lasts.
Make the customer happy.
Yeah, you know, I mean it was junk before. These are non-rebuildable transmissions, so hey, you know, at the very least, if you get a year out of it, great. And if you get more than that, great. So, you know, I was talking about another option. If we had a little bit more real estate, what we could have done at the brake, we could have sleeved it, put a little piece of pipe over there, or, you know, you weld the joint first, grind it smooth, put the pipe on, weld the pipe at either edge for a little bit more stability, strength. You could even do that now just with a piece of angle iron or a piece of bar stock, just stick it on there, but I don't think it's necessary. If it becomes an issue, well, we can always re-weld it again because we were pretty successful this time. So that's that. And we got the fuel line on the Ford, but the damn battery was dead, so there's the battery cooking on the charger.
A little focus in on this.
Oh,
coming
Jesus
soon
Christ.
To a viewing screen near you.
A transmission rebuild job for the Lincoln.
I'm going to tempt it myself for a multitude of different reasons.
Yep.
None of which really matter, but we're going to try it. It'll probably be a winter
project,
down,
definitely.
Yeah. So
we're going to need some real estate, so hopefully we'll have some space in here.
Yeah, it's got to be
right now.
If anything is agreed upon with transmissions, even among the armchair experts, the transmission repair guys, everyone says you need to keep the area clean. Apparently, dust and little bits of anything are your biggest enemy. So we're gonna have to put it over there. It's gonna be set up on one of those stands somehow. We're gonna rig up a stand. Everything's got to be clean. It's got to be bagged. It's unfortunately going to be taking up space for a while. 'Cause it's not a one-night job.
No, definitely not.
I'm gonna buy the deluxe kit, a reman valve body, and probably a new pump.
Yep.
You know.
We'll figure out. I will say I am pretty impressed.
Yeah.
Flip through the book. This isn't your typical shop manual.
We're used to 50-year-old manuals with cartoon drawings. See, that's just kind of explaining some of the basic components, and then
color photos.
This gets to the numbers. See, each section has its own.
Really thorough, really nice photos.
And it's not rocket science. There's not a magical voodoo reaction in the book. It's a mechanical interaction, you know, in there.
Yeah, we'll see if we can figure it out.
And what's the worst that can happen? I have a bad transmission.
A junk transmission into a junk transmission.
Or if I don't, I'll have gained a skill that I could use in all my cars, and I'll be able to brag.
Yep.
And we'll have some good footage. Maybe if we do a good job filming it, some of you out there can
rebuild your own transmission.
Study. And I'm kind of watching some videos of other people rebuilding them to see what works and what doesn't work as far as, you know, the viewer taking in something. Because we want to educate you here, you know.
Yep.
You know, because we know a little bit and want to pass it on.
Yeah. So
we'll try that.
All right, D. Frank. Well, that'll be for another time.
Oh, two videos.
For tonight, though, yeah, this is like I said before, two weekends into one. We kind of dropped the ball at the end of last week, so I'll stuff two into one. And that's that. We got enough interesting stuff for you guys to look at. And until next time,
stay tuned for more.
Right on. Thanks for watching, everybody.